Top 6 Halloween horror for 2024. Six.
Salem's Lot. The reason why we decided Salem's Lot is because it gave us Goony meets Fright Night meet Lost Boys, a little bit of nostalgia from the 80s and early 90s. What do you think?
It was a long to watch it because it dragged a little bit in the beginning, but when it finally got to the vampires, they set them up very exactly how you need to do it.
Exactly. Like, this is not like the best as far as what we got, and it has mixed reactions and more bad than good, but it has some good to watch on Halloween night or during Halloween, because of the fact that it just has all those nostalgia back in the day vampire hunter kind of vibes and stuff. So it had its parts, it has its kills, but it's not the best. And as far as, you know, aesthetics and how they look, how the vampires look, how they move and stuff, not a fan of it. I thought the original was better than this one. This one was just like too modern day, too much CGI, and that's what takes away from actual horror. But it's still a good enough watch to just be one and done, don't you think?
Exactly. I told you, if you go with the proper costumes and the makeup, it'll look way better than all that crap. I don't know what they were using.
Exactly, because the original series of Salem's Lot was good, and the way they look, it was back in the day. It might look a little cheesy, but it looks way better than CGI cheesy, because CGI cheesy is a different kind of cheesy, and it just gave us more of that horror element from back in the day, something that's classic that is very hard to copy nowadays.
Exactly. Couldn't say better than that.
Yep, so that's number 6, Salem's Lot.
5
for the Halloween night scary movie recommendations is Tarot. It's unanimous on this one too, but tell me why you think Tarot is a good contender.
I just all down love those campfire tales. Just saying, sit there, tell a scary story. That's what I got out of that. Then they found some tarot cards and made it more scarier, and then you just need to watch it. Like the monsters is amazing. The only downfall to it is, like I said, it's not R-rated. But if it would have got that R-rated, I feel like that movie would have been higher on my list.
Exactly. The movie, yeah, exactly what you're saying. It has a lot of potential. It's like 13 Ghosts mixed with Final Destination kind of thing, where you get that claustrophobic, oh, something's gonna happen, I could die anytime. I thought it was good enough. If it was R-rated and you could see a lot more of the visceralness of it, I would say it'd be terrifying, but it's terrifying enough because when you got monsters like this in the movie, they give you 13 Ghosts vibes. They give you that type of vibe, that horror, those characters that you're curious about their backgrounds and stuff. So out of this list and stuff of the monsters, who you think is the best for you as far as terrifying?
See, because you gotta watch it. If you haven't watched it, you already know the number one on the top. That one, right. Like her, I think if they did it more vicious, it would have been woof to the top.
Mine is the actual witch here, because she just looks crazy. The carvings, that smirk stuff, and you just seeing it freaking staring across from you and stuff. Like, you already know you either run or you ready to fight, and that's something that you fucking definitely better be fighting if you can't run.
The magician was creepy, and then the fool was a fool.
Yeah, this one right here.
The hangman right there, that looks like he hung somebody. You gotta watch it. It was, like I said, it was a good movie. Something you could watch with your 14-year-old or 13-year-old. But
yep. So Tarot, definitely recommendation. Scary enough for the younger teens and family to watch together, but something good as a one and done. At number 4, Hulu's Mr. Crockett. So this guy is Pee-wee's Playhouse, right? It's Pee-wee's Playhouse? Pee-wee's Playhouse, Buddy Rogers, Freddy Krueger, Candyman, Hellraiser. This dude has a whole bunch of mixes of all the nostalgia horror from back in the day. So what you thought of Mr. Crockett, and why you recommend it as a Halloween, maybe one and done, or maybe again and again?
I would definitely recommend Mr. Crockett to be watched on around Halloween. It was a decent, like exactly how you said. Nightmare. He had his Nightmare on Elm Street. He had his Hellraiser. He had all those type of vibes when he went in. He was just a vicious old man.
And it's not super violent. It's not super terrifying. It's just one of those interesting enough characters that has a good enough backstory, good enough origin that you could follow, and they could build on that and amp it up and make it even more crazier and better, because he could grow as a character, a horror character.
He could definitely be a franchise. He had his own origins. He had his own little theme song. A friend like me, he had his little way to come in, just like the Candyman. So it's like, he has his things, bro. He could be a franchise. It's a definitely recommend. You need to watch it.
Yeah.
You need to watch that movie.
Mr. Crockett, definitely we recommend. It's on Hulu. And number 3, The Deliverance. This movie has some controversy, has a lot of people talking about it, and it's been out for a while, but we still include this one as a Halloween watch, maybe one time. But fair warning, this movie definitely is one of those hit home, real life, yes it happened for real vibe situation. So it's one of those movies that you watch it knowing in the back of your mind that this actually happened, or there's actual true events out of this movie. So why you voted this as number 3?
I felt like this one was number 3 because it really gave you those haunting elements, you feel me? Like the way they did it, it was creepy. It was like they used real words, they used real shit, that shit you don't fuck with. So I know this movie is worth to watch because it was creepy, but I liked it. It's a Halloween watch.
Out of the whole thing, who stood out for you the most?
I ain't gonna lie, Glenn Close. I like Glenn Close as Alberta. Alberta did her thing. I ain't gonna lie, even though her character supposedly got race swapped, but that's the controversy for another day. But Glenn Close did her thing as Alberta. I ain't gonna front, the little boy gave me little Spider-Man vibes when he was up there, when he climbed up that ceiling real quick.
And what a coincidence that the kid from Stranger Things is in this too, as the brother Nate. And there's rumors about him being Miles. But back to the discussion, The Deliverance definitely is a horror movie, but definitely something supernatural. This movie is a true supernatural. If you gotta pick from the list of the top, this is a true supernatural. This is something you watch, and I wouldn't advise if you definitely heavy on religious beliefs, and especially Christian beliefs and things like that, even though they mention Jesus in this. Shortly you'll see why, but this movie is worth a watch. It's definitely at number 3, has its parts, is terrifying, actually happened. At number 2, we got Smile 2. So why did you choose Smile as your number 2?
Because it was the number 2 biggest horror movie out for this year. That shit was decent. That shit was creepy. It kept up being more creepier and creepier down the movie it went.
And it's one of those contagious movies where it can be a franchise that you can do more and more and more, as much as you can. As long as you make it good enough and a good script, they can do more of these.
I feel like they tied in one with this one a little better, because I didn't like part 1. But I feel like watching part 2 make me like the story better now, because it gave you a more understanding.
Exactly. They still, for the people that haven't watched it, there's still question about well, there's still a question on my mind about the Smile thing, but I could say it's definitely number 2. Why? Because yes, it's a bigger budget, meaning you are it's worth going to go see in the movies, which I'm sure many people seen. It made a decent budget, but for Halloween, it's a good movie to watch with family or anybody. Yes, this is definitely an R-rated movie. There are some brutal kills, and the kills are brutal. The deaths are brutal in here. But overall, the story, the character, and everything else was like, just I liked it. I liked the first one too. I like it. To me, they connect, and that's what makes sense, and that's what makes it a franchise that can continue and go on. So I like the Smile franchise. It's like a simple copy paste kind of a thing, but still it works. For me, it works. And
I'm gonna tell you, Naomi Scott did a hell of a job, and it's crazy because she probably not gonna get no awards because they don't treat the screen queens that good. But I feel like she deserves it. She did a hell of a job in that movie.
She did her thing. She was believable, and I even like that too about the film, because it was like she was a little mix of Whitney. They said they got inspiration from Whitney Houston and Amy Winehouse, but she even had like little Lady Gaga in her, because they actually had little performances to make it believable as her playing a celebrity musician or singer or something. Like, you know, it was good. Like, I liked it. And even the end, when you get to see the end, the way they did the end is just like, it's an excellent, smart way to introduce possibilities of more. At number 1, we got the Joker movie for Halloween to watch. Even though the movie was completely atrocious and garbage, we was just playing around. Our number 1 is definitely Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 being a unrated movie, being a movie with a lower budget than all these other movies that we have on the list, and being a winner in the box office because it basically beat Joker 2. It beat a couple of movies that came out. It beat Venom because Venom didn't freaking them do really nothing. Because if you think about it, Venom was supposed to be a bigger box office, but it barely got there. And when it's done, it's not gonna be a good look. It was the lowest for the trilogy. So Terrifier is the highest rated unrated movie to be successful. So your thoughts on Terrifier 3 being the number 1 top 10 for horror?
Definitely my number 1 on that list, because Terrifier 3 only had a $2 million budget.
Yeah,
they thing with it.
They made about 55 million back so far.
Get that bag, baby, because we need to see that Terrifier 4.
I don't know, man. I studios like telling, nah, we need more, man. You need to make another one, and giving him a lot of money to make another.
I just wish that, like, if he could just redo the first 2, you feel me? Because, like, get the budget and fix those, because, you know, one was but the first one, woof, it looked like I filmed it. So
yeah, that's the thing, like, it's low budget because, you know, it is a cheesy, low budget kind of movie, but the one thing we do respect is, you know, he up from nothing little by little, and look at where he's at now. Like, he's getting better now. His box office is bigger now. Like, this did a really good at the box office, and you could imagine what Terrifier 4 is gonna do. So this right here, he is already a contender to be, matter of fact, he's already there as like one of the top slasher characters as far as, you know, with Freddy and Jason. Sorry, yes, he's been only out like for a little bit, but he's up there because this guy is a psychopath. He's a demon that really does some vile torture and loves it and wants to continue, not finish you off. He wants to continue until you're done, and maybe even a little bit more when you're done too.
That he's really brutal.
Yeah, so.
and you know, not a bad watch. Like, and I hope they do more with her, like, on fighting tip, and not too much of the running in the 4th one, because now she understands what she's about, you feel me?
Yeah.
So I just can't wait for that 4th one.
Alright, folks, you let us know in the comment section below what you think of our top 5 recommendations to watch on Halloween Day. Or you let us know in the comment section what you recommend. Maybe we didn't have anything in the list that you want to recommend, and we could check it out.